Hello, good evening, and welcome to lesson 9. Now, before I get into the lesson, I just want to say that with the current viral pandemic that we have going on, a lot of people have run to social media. We're stuck in the house, we have our computers, we have our phones, so everyone's posting all day long. And I just want to make sure that we're taking the time to make sure that our posts are grammatically correct. Your social media post does not need to be a college essay. This is true. You can use slang, you can abbreviate, you can use acronyms. However, you need to make sure that you're not using the wrong word in place of other words, because that's not, oh, it's just my Facebook post. That's, I don't know which word to use. So be mindful of that. Don't allow this viral pandemic to have you caught out there on social media looking crazy. Okay? So we're going to keep going business as usual. Stay safe. Do whatever you feel is best to protect you and your family. Don't let other people force their opinions on you about how serious you should or should not take something. Back to the video. So, good evening and welcome to lesson 9. Lesson 9 is going to be focusing on basic verb tense. And the reason why it's going to focus on basic verb tense and not just verb tense or just tense in general is because there's levels to it. Like we have said many times before, this is the English language. And in the English language, it is complex for no reason at all. So with that being said, we're going to focus on basic verb tense, and we're not going to get deeper into it in this video because I'm going to be doing another video on irregular verbs, and that's going to kind of patch up those or focus on those other verb tense that kind of go beyond what this video is going to focus on. Now, verbs come in 3 different tenses: past, present, and future. So for past, I like to tell my students, it's in the past, it happened already. For present tense, I like to tell my students, happening right now, right this very second. And for future, I like to tell my students, this will happen. This has not happened yet, it is to come. So again, just to kind of go along with that visual, I tell my students, past, happened already done. Present, happening now, right now. Oh, they're doing that now. And future, will happen. As you can see from the many status updates I was able to share at the beginning of this lesson, people struggle with this one a lot. And I personally, I could be wrong, but I do not believe that it is a matter of they don't know which one to use. I think it's more of a matter of laziness. People don't feel like putting the ending on the word. You know what I meant. I didn't need to add the ed. You knew what I meant. What you have to understand is, yes, they may know what you mean or know what you meant by that. However, they also know that it is a strong possibility that you don't know the correct verb tense. And so you didn't put a verb tense at all because you were afraid to get it wrong. So for the sake of appearing that way, how about we just put the right ending on the word so that we don't have to say, you know what I meant? Now, like I was saying, I think people's biggest issue with this is the fact that they are just lazy. They don't want to put the ending on. But just in case people actually do struggle with this and need a refresher, I got you. Again, this is one of those things that you learned in like the 3rd or 4th grade. This one more so carried up all throughout the years because I know I teach middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And when my students present me with work that doesn't have the right ending on the words, I'm like, happening now? Happened already? Will happen? To try to get them to fix their mistakes. Let's look at a few examples of basic verb tense. And I keep emphasizing that word basic because I want it to be clear that that's all this video is focusing on. Past, present, future, basic. It's not diving into irregular verbs or anything like that. Just want to remind anybody who may have skipped through the video a little bit just to make that clear. Let's look at a few examples. So here we have the word jump. She jumped. Happened already. She is jumping. She's doing it right now. She will jump. This is something that she will do in the future. Simple, right? Here we go. Play. She played. Already happened. She is playing. She's doing it right now. She will play. This is something she will do in the future. Learn. She learned. Happened already. She is learning. Happening right now. She will learn. Will happen in the future. Now, those examples help you to see basic verb tense. Adding ed, adding ing, or adding the word will before the word to make sure that the word that you're using is in the correct tense. Very simple, very basic. When you get into things like eat, ate, eaten, and things like that, now you're stepping into irregular verb territory because it gets a little funky there. And you have kids who will still try to add ed. Or not even just kids, you have people who will still try to add ed or ing. And in all reality, because they're irregular verbs, the spelling changed. But again, we're going to have a video on irregular verbs. This is not that video. So, in one of the posts that I showed you, this one in particular, I took the second period exam this morning. Hashtag nosebleed. Now, while I don't understand that hashtag at all, to me it doesn't make sense with that particular sentence. But you know what? I don't know. I'm getting old these days, so maybe I'm just not hip enough to understand that particular hashtag being used. But what I do understand is that this particular person does not know that took is already the past tense version of take, and that goes into irregular verbs. But I just want to make that clear that sometimes the mistake is that we don't realize we're already using the past tense version of the word. Took is past tense of take. So that person didn't need to add ed. They could have just said, I took, because it happened already. That's the past tense version. But they got confused and they added the ed because basic tense knowledge lets us know when it's in the past tense, we add an ed. Even though in this case, it was already the past tense word. Irregular verbs. In this example, Krishna is a liar. She lied on me and told everybody that I wanted her boyfriend. That is not true. Now, this mistake could have occurred for multiple reasons. The person may not know how to use the word lie in the past tense. Or again, back to what I said before, maybe the person was just lazy and just decided not to put the D on at the end. But yes, lie. Krishna lied on you. She didn't lie on you. She lied. You know, you don't put that ed. That's a different word there. That means something else. That's a multiple meaning word. You got to make sure that that is clear as day. So you will put that D on the end. The reason why you wouldn't add an additional ed is because the word already ends in an e. So you wouldn't need to add ed. So you wouldn't spell it lieed. You would just spell it lie and add that d on at the end. So there we have it with verb tense, with basic verb tense. We just need to remember to make sure we are putting the correct ending on the words that we are using. Now, before I update that status from earlier, what I'm going to do is provide you with a visual reminder that you can also use with your kids at home. And if you just so happen to be at home right now with your kids because of the whole coronavirus thing, you know, this is some good practice, especially for, wow, that was crazy. I'm going to edit that out. This is some good practice, especially for those students who are in those younger grades, or if you as a parent know that your child struggles with writing, this is a big mistake that I constantly see in the papers turned into me from my 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Just that making sure you have the right tense at the end of your verb. So have them practice it. Give them a list of verbs. Tell them to write for you the present, the past, and the future tense of that. That's an activity right there that could take a good 20 minutes for them to do. And it's something simple that you can easily Google to check, their work to make sure it's right. But they'll never get enough practice on that, because this is something that a lot of our students struggle with. I know for a fact that my deaf students struggle with this a lot. So definitely allow them to do that. Write out a list of verbs, have them put it in the correct tense. Now, here's a visual to go along with basic verb tense. Here we go. Again, this is just for basic verb tense. This does not apply to irregular verbs. Now, here is that status that we are going to update. She has been play in my phone for weeks now. Please get a life, little girl. Well, I see 2 mistakes. One, she used in instead of on my phone, which is what I think she means. But I'm going to focus on that verb play and how that is in the incorrect tense. So let's go ahead and update this. Okay, so here we go. She has been playing on my phone for weeks now. Please. Oh, I need to add a space. Please. There we go. Get a life, little girl. Now that is updated, it looks much better. I want to make something clear. Now, we use ing even though technically what the person is doing isn't happening right this second. And the reason why we use ing is because it's continuous, continues to happen. She has been playing on my phone for weeks. So yes, she did it in the past, but she never stopped. She's continuously doing it. So therefore, it technically is happening right now, and then so on and so forth. So that is why we use ing in that one. I just wanted to make that clear. So now that status is updated, now that status has been updated, we have reached the end of lesson 9. As I said before, stay safe. Use these videos to do some grammar practice with your kids while they're at home. Grammar is one of those things that you can always work on no matter what grade level they're at. And you'll be surprised how you can sit down with your high schooler, write out a list of verbs, and they will not be able to give you the past, present, and future tense for all of them. Some of them they're going to struggle with because this is an ongoing thing. This is an ongoing process. There are some that I'm like, that's not right. And I jump on Google myself. You just have to be willing to take the time to do it. So, have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Stay smart. Do what's best for you and your family. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Send me grammatically incorrect posts that you see on the internet. Send them my way so that I can use that to make more videos. McCurry out.